Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to Elle Studio. I hope if you are not subscribed to the channel that by the end of this video you have enjoyed it or enjoy the way that I present the information and you consider subscribing to the channel. Also, I do have a second channel called the Bash Chat. The link is in the description box below. It says please consider subscribing to this channel. On that channel, we cover reality news, reality TV shows, celebrity news, celebrity gossip, trending topics, and everything like that. So if you click that link, it'll take you over there and you can kind of scroll through. And if I cover some of your shows or celebrities that you enjoy, please consider subscribing to that channel as well. I would love to have you subscribe to both. Anyways, you guys, this video is going to be, it's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be heartbreaking because we're going to be talking about a 19-month-old little baby who passed away from a fentanyl overdose. Also, if you watch me on a regular, you probably know that I do not sound like myself.
That is because I'm getting sick. My son has been sick for like a week and he gave me what he had.
But thankfully he's getting better, so that's okay if I have it. Just hopefully I don't give it back to him or any of the other children. But yes, it has my voice a little messed up. So bear with me. I apologize if I go high, if I go low, if I go out. I'm sorry. So you guys, like I said, this topic is, or this situation is a very heartbreaking one. Nobody expects when they're going on vacation with their family, you know, taking their children on a vacation, nobody expects that it to end bad. Everybody just expects that they're going to have a great time. Everyone's expecting to make memories, to have fun. Nobody expects that they're going to go on vacation and lose a loved one or one of their children pass away. But unfortunately, that is exactly what happened to Liddy and Boris Lavinier. They booked a vacation in Florida and their 19-month-old baby would pass away. So they are a French family from Guadeloupe. In August 2021, they decided they were going to take their family of 7 to Florida. And they were going to have a nice little getaway vacation. So they jumped on the internet, went over to search for a nice Airbnb, and they found one in Wellington, I think it was Wellington, Florida. And it was a nice little lake house, and it was fitting to their needs. It was, you know, everything that they needed to be accommodating to their family. So they booked the lake house. They would take the vacation and everything would be going fine until midways into the vacation. Liddy would put Honora down for a nap. 2 hours later, she would go to wake her up and she would discover that Honora was blue and she was foaming out the mouth. She knew immediately that Honora was dead. She even yelled, "Honora's dead, someone called 911. At that point, one of the family members called 911. Paramedics showed up, but it was too late for Honora. She was gone. Now, because Honora had no health issues, she was fine. She was a healthy baby. She was even okay before she was put down for a nap. She was actually in the kitchen, roaming around, pulling pots and pans out, playing. The family just suspected the only thing that they knew to suspect, which was SIDS. They assumed that Honora passed away from sudden infant death syndrome, which still was devastating. They were still devastated by the loss of their baby. But a few weeks later, they would get the autopsy report back, and that report would show that Honora passed away due to a fentanyl overdose, which completely threw them. They didn't know what to think. They didn't know how. They had no idea how their daughter, their 19-month-old daughter, ingested fentanyl. Obviously, you know, the parents would become suspects due to this situation. Due to the fact that their daughter had fentanyl in her system at just 19 months old, they become a suspect in her death. Now, that would quickly change because Liddy and Boris would both test negative after a drug test, and investigators would even go to their house, search their house for drugs, and look for fentanyl. But they would find no drugs in their house, and they passed their drug test with flying colors. Investigators and the family were wondering, you know, where did the fentanyl come from and how did Honora get a hold of fentanyl? Obviously, an investigation was underway, and they went back to the fact that it happened at the Airbnb. So investigators contacted the property manager, the owner, everyone linked to this Airbnb. They were able to get the information on who rented the Airbnb before the Laveniers, and they found out that a group of people had rented it previously, about 2 weeks prior, and they did in fact admit to throwing a cocaine-fueled party, but they said there was no fentanyl there and they had nothing to do with that. There was no fentanyl. However, I believe that if you throw a party, you have a lot of people there and there's cocaine there, the chances of there being fentanyl there, I mean, possibly if 2 weeks later you have a baby pass away from fentanyl overdose. I mean, I feel like 2 + 2 = 4. You know what I'm saying? Either way, they denied being in any possession of fentanyl, saying that it was never at the party. So investigators did look into other things like Eleanor's sleeping position, her medical history, to see if they could find any connection to anything. Either way, they were left with the fact that Eleanor absolutely passed away from a fentanyl overdose. But because they could not establish how the fentanyl got into the house or how it got into her system, the investigator decided to rule this as a accidental death, accidental by overdose. In the final report, the investigator would say, I'm currently unable to determine how the child Eleanor Lavenier ingested fentanyl. Therefore, I'm unable to develop probable cause for abuse or neglect leading to the death of Enora. Currently, the manner of death is listed as accidental. Of course, then the case would be closed after her death was ruled an accident. The only thing that the family or investigators were sure of is that the drug came from inside the Airbnb. Even the investigators said they absolutely believed that, but they had no evidence as to who left it there. They could assume that it was the group that was there before that admitted to having the cocaine, but they could not say for absolutely sure. So no charges were ever pressed against anyone. However, the family has now decided that they were going to sue the Airbnb, the property owner, the rental manager, and the former tenants. Now, a lawyer did speak on this, saying that he felt that it was going to be really hard for this lawsuit to go through. University of Florida law professor Lars Noah said they can prove that the child died from fentanyl exposure, but where that fentanyl comes from, linking it to this particular group, that just sounds monstrously difficult under these circumstances. However, the Lavenier's attorney would speak out as well, and he said he's not really, his intent is not finding the source of where the drug came from, but rather that the Airbnb was negligent and did not properly clean the space between renters. The lawyer would tell the Post, he would say, the only thing we have here is our common sense. I agree. He says it was definitely in that unit, in that Airbnb. Which particular person left the drug is frankly not anything that I'm trying to prove. What I want to show is the Airbnb provided no cleanup, no warning, no measure of safety for the family. He also said that if you are an Airbnb company and you are posting your houses up on the internet saying that they are safe for families and children, but yet things like this is happening, babies are dying due to fentanyl overdoses or drug overdoses, then that is something that you could absolutely be held responsible for and be sued for. He also said just because a home looks nice on the internet, you never know what has went on there or how the property owner or manager takes care of the place or if they're cleaning the place up. So always be cautious when you go to Airbnb. Now, you guys, to me, this, I don't even know. I can't even fathom. I absolutely think there was negligence there. When you rent an Airbnb, you pay for a cleaning service. So when you rent it yourself, you would expect that it be clean and your children would be able to walk around or crawl around. The last thing that you would expect is that your child would pass away from a drug overdose. So you guys, they're filing a lawsuit. Some attorneys are saying they don't think that it's going to stick. They don't think that it's going to fly. Other attorneys saying, yeah, they think that it's going to stick. And their attorneys saying, listen, we're not trying to find the source of where it came from, but we're just trying to say someone was negligent. The Airbnb, the property manager, even the past renters, they were negligent to rent a property and have these drug-fueled parties at, not thinking about the fact that other people will come behind them and rent the properties. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to continue to kind of keep my eye out about the story to see what happens. I am curious how far this will go, if the family will, in fact, if the suit will not get dismissed or what will happen. But this is devastating. Can you guys even imagine renting an Airbnb, a nice lake house, taking your children, taking your baby, and then your baby dying of a drug overdose. I just can't even imagine. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.